What's going on, everybody? Mr. Wonderful here, back at you on my channel. This is not a belt review, though. This is a belt modification. This would be my second belt modification, the very first one. And I'll attach a link somewhere. I don't know if I could do that. I have no idea. Maybe towards the end of the video. But I did a modification video where I turned my all gold Fandu Big Gold into a dual plated Fandu Big Gold using Tester's paint. I posted that years ago, and people have been doing similar modifications ever since. So I'm very proud I started that trend. But here I'm going to try to start another one. And the reason why I'm covering this up is because I already started on my modification. And I just want to show you this belt, and I'm sure you guys are all familiar with the $1 Million Belt. It is a beautiful looking belt, especially if it is restoned. These are original stones, so there is really barely any bling, as you can see, okay? I do plan on having it restoned. I plan on having it restoned with cubic zirconias, just like the real $1 Million Belt, including the strap, the gems that are there. Okay, now if you take a look at this belt and you compare it to the $1 Million Belt, you know it's not an accurate one-to-one replica of the belt. There are a lot of differences. Mainly, this isn't real gold, and of course, the dollar signs. Now, the big pet peeve that I've always had with the $1 Million replica belt is that the dollar signs were not filled with diamonds, and what they did is left empty spaces around the edges of the dollar signs, right? I never thought that looked good. I mean, from afar, you really can't tell much. But when you get up close, I mean, look over here. It's just a straight line there, a straight line there, plenty of empty spaces there, right? And I always thought that looked off, okay? So what I ended up doing, for shits and giggles, okay, since these stones aren't the best, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just test out my little theory. And I went to Amazon and I bought a whole bunch of cheap rhinestones. $7. I got all these right here, like different sizes and whatnot, right? And as you can see, these are the sizes that I have been using, right? And what I have been attempting to do is basically fill in these gaps using these cheap rhinestones, right? And you know, for example, let's say right over here, I'll see, maybe I'll use this, right? Look, right? Maybe that'll fit right there. Or maybe that's too small. Maybe we go a little bigger, right? You see what I'm saying? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out the right sizes and try to fill in the gaps. And hopefully make it look more like the $1 Million Belt. But guess what? Through the magic of television, we already have one done. That's why this is covered. So I'm going to unveil it right now, let you know. And then I'm going to finish the rest of the belt. And let's just see what it looks like, okay? All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, bam. There you go. Now, I like the way it looks. As you can see, like right here, for example, I filled it in, and yes, you can see the difference right there in shine, in clarity of the rhinestones. But you know what, again, these are adhesives, right? I can easily take them off, wipe them down, and it'll be back to normal. That's why I'm not really too, you know, worried about making this little modification. It's not permanent. But as you can see, I used a bunch of different sizes to fill in the gaps, right? I'm not exactly sure if this is the same method that was used on the $1 Million Belt or if they're all the same size all the way around. But I did my best here in filling in the empty spaces. Now, I tried two different methods for the bottom of the dollar signs. You see dollar signs here have a space, right? A couple of little spaces there. So for this one down here, I tried filling them in with two little rhinestones on either side, 2 and 2. As you can see, this one's kind of, I can move this. I could easily take this off and reposition it, right? And then up here, I tried using the bigger stones, okay? Now, the only difference is that the stones are not flush to the dollar sign, but you know what? It may not be that bad. What do you guys think? Right? Now, I think it looks pretty good. Yes, there's a difference in the clarity of these versus the insides, but what I'm hoping is when I do the restoning of it using cubic zirconias, that the bling of that overshadows and overtakes the dullness of these little rhinestones. You know, I don't know. Time will tell. Right now, you can tell there's a little difference in shine. So maybe this will match more the bling of the other one. But really, it's just to fill in the gaps. And from some angles, it looks really good. Like right there. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in the rest of this one and fill in the rest of this one. Come back and just see the final product, and then maybe in the future, once I restone it, we'll see what it looks like and if it's worth doing this or not. But if you don't really care about the restoning and you want something, if you want to do something with your belt to modify it, I think this is a pretty good idea, right? Look at that. Look at that. I love it. I love it. Sorry, I'm going to do the same thing with this. Do the same thing with this, and we'll come right back after a word from our sponsors. Okay, middle dollar sign has been filled in. Again, it is not the best. I could probably use maybe a little bit of a different configuration, I guess size-wise. Down here, I decided to put one little extra dot underneath in these empty spaces, so I think that's pretty good. Up here, I used a different method where I used the bigger stone. Again, it's not bad, actually. It's not bad here. All right, and then as you can see here, I filled in the gap with different size stones. Now there's an empty space right there that I'm going to try to put a tiny one in. It might not work. Again, it's not perfect. Like over here, there's a little space here. But the rest of the gaps are filled in fairly well. I might readjust this little corner here to add a few tiny ones and get rid of this bigger one, right? Just to fill in the gaps. So I think so far so good. From this angle, it looks spectacular. From other angles, you can kind of see where the fake stones are. Well, they're all fake. All right, I'm going to finish this one up and present to you the modified $1 million belt. Now the dollar signs edges are rounded off, just like the real one. Well, not just like the real one, but pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. I really, really hated how the gaps were empty, and I just always thought those need to be filled in, and here we are. Here we are using cheap rhinestones, and the look is not bad, guys. I really, really like it a lot. Now, the next step would be to restone these, and I'm hoping the bling overcomes the bland, and it really pops, and I think it will. I think it really will, to be honest with you. Beautiful belt, beautiful belt. And then when this is all said and done, and when it's displayed, this is going to be the talk of the collection for sure, as says everybody else, right? Because shiny things are really nice. But yeah, this little project was a very simple one. You guys can do it fairly easy without any worry about really ruining your belt, because these are just adhesive little stones, and they easily come off. Like, let's see this one right here. This one's drooping. Look at this. Let me just pull it up. Pull it out. I'm going to replace this one with better adhesive, right? And then using tweezers, you kind of want to, put it back, right? And you can see some of these are pretty crooked, but I can easily just, move them around and whatnot to make it fit. So I'm not really worried about that. It's just this one. I need to apply a new one. Otherwise, I dig it, guys. I dig it. What do you think? You like this mod? You think you're gonna give it a try? I hope you do, guys, especially if you have a restoned one. I'd love to see what this looks like on a restoned belt. Shout me out if you do it. And happy modding, guys. Happy modding. This is definitely worth it, and I'm very happy with the results. And you know what? Maybe there's better adhesive stones than these rhinestones. Maybe there's blingier ones. If there are, let me know, and I'll replace. But for now, I say this is the tits. All right, this is Mr. Wonderful with a belt modification video for you. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a nice day.